Sarvebhyaha namaskaraha. Sarvesham hartam swagatam. We'll start the class by chanting the Prarthana Shlokas. Krishno rakshatu man chara chara guruhu. Krishnan namasyamyaham. Krishne namara shatravo vinikataha. Krishnaya tasmai namaha. Krishnadeva samutthidam jagatidam. Krishnasya tasosmyaham. Krishne bhaktira chanjalasto bhagavan. He Krishna tubhyan namaha. Prapanna parijataya. Totra vetraika panaye. Jnana mudraya Krishnaya. Gita mritatuhe namaha. Vasudeva sutan devam. Kamsa chanura mardanam. Devaki paramanandam. Krishna Vande Jagat Gurum. Sarvesham Punaswagatam. So today we will take up this 14th chapter, that is on Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. That is the yoga of the division of the three gunas. You have seen the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, three gunas. So they come along with the Prakriti. So how they play a very important role in each and every person's life will be clearly explained in this chapter. What are those gunas? What are their characteristics? Everything will be explained in this chapter. So we'll start. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuya Pravakshami Jnanana Jnanamut Tamam Yajñatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha. So Bhagavan is starting this thing, that is Param Bhuya Pravakshami. I shall again, Param Bhuya means again and again, yet again, declare the supreme knowledge. Param Jnanam. That is supreme knowledge, the best of all forms of knowledge. Jnananan jnanamuttamam. That is the best of all forms of knowledge. I will again declare to you that jnana, that Brahma jnana, yajñatva, knowing which all the munaya survey, all the munis are perfected beings. They all become passed from this world to the highest perfection. They have reached the highest perfection, knowing that knowledge. So here the supreme is explained, supreme knowledge is explained from a different angle. So what happens is, while Brahmajnana is easiest to acquire, Brahmajnana is easiest to acquire, for those with who seem it is possible for purified mind, with people with purified minds. They're like munis, they are perfected beings. For them, it is easy for them to gain that knowledge. But others immersed in worldliness, that is all the other things in the world, it may seem impossible. It may seem impossible. So therefore, Bhagavan is presenting it in different ways so that the message is transferred, message is put across to all kinds of people. So to make them perfect beings. So here, Sri Krishna has explained that the fundamental ignorance we have about our own true nature. Supreme Self is identified with the one body, We are Brahman, but we identify with one body within Prakriti and become the Purusha, become the Purusha. So actually Brahman, we get identified with the Prakriti and become the Purusha. Further, trapped in Prakriti, when it gets enchanted by the play of the three gunas. Further entrenched in the Prakriti because of the play of the three gunas. So Krishna explains that nature of the three gunas, their characteristics, their effects and remedy That is the subject matter of this chapter. So in the three gunas, everything explained here. One who is contemplative mind is fit to study the highest accomplished one can aspire, that is liberation from sorrow. Liberation from sorrow, liberation from this cycle of birth and death. This is when we know Brahman, that is as our own self. Brahman is our own self, which has become identified with one body, and it is enchanted by all the gunas, etc. When we know Brahman as our own self, the goal is attained. The goal is attained, and this is the subject matter of this chapter. So the glory of the knowledge is explained again and again. So self-knowledge is knowledge about ourselves, about oneself. So to remove that hard conditioning, because we have got so much engrossed in this worldly things. So to remove the hard conditioning, Sri Krishna is repeating again and again the importance of this knowledge. The Brahmajnanam about that is repeating again and again, because people are, most of the people are conditioned by these worldly things. So to get them out of that, Bhagavan is again and again stressing the importance of this Brahmajnana. We'll continue.
Tapna Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami.
Sapna Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami.
Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Jnananam jnanamuttamam. Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve. Yajñātvā munayas sarve.
Param siddhimito gataha.
Param siddhimito gataha. Param siddhimito gataha.
Uttam. So here Bhuyah Pravakshyami, Ubadmaniya is there. Bhuyah Pravakshyami, Jnananam jnanamuttamam. That is Anuswara replaced by that new fifth letter, and Munayas Sarve, because Visarga followed by Sakara. So Munayas Sarve, Param Siddhi Mito Gataha. You continue.
Pushpa Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami.
Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Jnananam jnanamuttamam. Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve. Yajñātvā munayas sarve.
Param siddhimito gataha.
Param siddhimito gataha. Param siddhimito gataha.
Uttam.
Gholap Mahodaya.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami. Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami. Jnananam jnanamuttamam. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami. Jnananam jnanamuttamam.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve. Param siddhimito gataha.
Yajñātvā munayas sarve. Param सिद्धिमितो गताः यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
उत्तमं.
धन्यवाद सर.
इल्लवरसी भगिनी.
भगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम्. श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम्.
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः. यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
उत्तमं.
हेमा भगिनी.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्. यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम्. यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
उत्तमं.
लक्ष्मी HS भगिनी.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम्. यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
उत्तमं. Go to the next slogan. So, idanyanamupaśritya. Idanyana, that is here Maniswara followed by Nyakara. So Ja is there. So idanyanamupaśritya mama sadharmya magataha sarge pinopachayante pralayena vyathanti cha. Here there is a dutvam. Pralayena vyathanti cha. So here Bhagavan says, those who have taken refuge in this knowledge, idam jnanam upasritya, those who have taken refuge in this knowledge and have attained identity with me, mama sadharmya magataha, those who attained identity with me are not born even during creation. Sargepi nopajayante, not even during creation, and not affected. Pralayena vyathanticha, they don't get affected if there is a destruction or dissolution also, they are not getting it. They are not at all affected by any of these things. So that's what Bhagavan says here. So if we identify with the various roles or parts that we play each day, we will be meeting a number of failures and successes. You'll be somewhere will fail, somewhere will succeed. You play various roles as a teacher or as a officer or as any other job. Many roles will play in a day. So we'll see that we will be somewhere will be failing, somewhere will be not succeeding, or somewhere will be succeeding, and like that sometimes you give up something so that you become dead to that thing, or you start a new thing, so you take a new birth there. Like that, these roles go on changing and you go on changing. So we experience both death and birth every day. Every day something or the other will happen, something will rise up, something will die in our life, something will happen. So these things happening, we are experiencing it. So throughout our life this is happening. So birth and death are part and parcel of Prakriti's functioning. So it happens. Prakriti's functioning is like that. So Sri Krishna urges us to identify with Ishvara. Mamasadharmya magata. Idanyana upasritya. That is taking refuge in this knowledge. They have taken refuge and they have also taken identity with me, so that we are not agitated with any kind of birth and death, even of our body. We are not agitated. It is Prakriti only. Prakriti will go, will happen this, that, but we are Brahman, so we will not be affected by any of those things. So if we have removed our ignorance through knowledge, if we have realized our true nature as identical to that of Ishvara, we will see things from Ishvara's perspective and stop identifying with the ups and downs experienced by our body. We will not be identifying with those ups and downs. We will be always identifying with Ishvara, so that we will always be calm and we are not bothered by success or failure or anything. We are always with Ishvara. And that this is all based on Prakriti only. That happens. Prakriti is perishable thing. So it happens, it doesn't happen. So we leave everything to Ishvara. This is what Bhagavan says here in this sloka. We continue.
Kalavati Bhagini.
Idanyānamupāśritya.
Idamyanamubhasritya. Idamyanamubhasritya.
Mama sadharmyamāgataha.
Mama sadharmyamāgataha. Mama sadharmyamāgataha.
Sarge pinopajayante.
Sarge vinobhajayante. Sarge vinobhajayante.
Here, sarge pi only, not sarge pi.
Sarge vinobhajayante.
Once again.
Sarge vinobhajayante.
Don't stress here. Sarge pinopajayante.
Sarge vinobhajayante.
No.
Sarge vinobhajayante.
Pralayena vyathanti cha.
Pralayena vyatanti cha. Pralayena vyatanti cha.
In Sanskrit, we have the la will not become la. In other languages like Tamil or Telugu, it will become la. But in Sanskrit, it's always la only. So, pralayena vyathanti cha.
Pralayena vyatanti cha.
This second letter, no, prala, you are telling, prala. That is what is told in Telugu and Tamil and all, they chant like that. But in Sanskrit, it is not told like that. Pralaye, lalita, no, la, that la.
Pralaye navyatanti cha. Okay, practice பண்றேன்.
You got this thing, no? Pralaye.
Pralaye.
Not la.
La. La. Pralaye navyatanti cha.
Yathanti cha. This is again. Yathanti cha.
Tanti cha.
Uttam.
धन्यवाद.
Anita Bhagini.
Idanyānamupāśritya.
Hare Krishna. Idam jnanamunitya. Idam jnanamumāśritya.
Mama sadharmyamāgataha.
Mama sadhyamyamāgataha. Mama sadhyamyamāgataha.
Sarge pinopajayante.
Shagopino pujayante. Shagopino pujayante.
Pralayena vyathanti cha.
Pralhayena vatanti cha. Pralhayena vatanti cha.
Uttam.
इदं ज्ञानमुचित्य मामो धर्माम्यां गतः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च।
उत्तम.
हरे कृष्णा. धन्यवाद.
Start.
मालिनी भगिनी.
इदञ्ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्ममागताः इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्ममागताः
साधर्म्य
मम साधर्म्यमागताः
आगताः.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः
सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च
प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च. This is the
प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च
Ditvam is here.
नागमणि भगिनी.
इदञ्ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः
सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
उत्तम.
पद्मा जगन भगिनी.
इदञ्ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च
प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
This is Ditvam here.
कांचना भगिनी.
Full sloka.
कांचना श्रीराम भगिनी.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
विनोदा भगिनी.
इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यथन्ति च.
उत्तम. Continue. Next sloka. मम यो निर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहम् सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत. So here Bhagavan says, Mama yonir mahat brahma. My womb is the mahat brahma. That is the prakriti. Prakriti is otherwise Bhagavan is saying is mahat brahma. Mama Yonir, that is my womb, is the Mahat Brahma, that is the Prakriti. Tasmin Garbhanda Dhamyakam. In that I place the germ. In that Prakriti, I place the Tasmin Garbhanda Dhamyakam. In that I place the germ there. Sambhava Sarva Bhutanam. O Bharata. This is the birth of all beings. Sarva Bhutanam Sambhavaha. All Buddhas are born in this way. Tato Bhavati Bharata. So here, Bhagavan says, the Prakriti is called the Mahat Brahma. It's also the four-faced identity of Brahma, we know that Brahma. So he is constituted of three gunas, this Mahat Brahma, Prakriti. He is the material cause of everything, movable, immovable, etc. He is the material cause for everything. That Mahat Brahma, Prakriti. Whatever is manifest as the universe with its varied forms as the universe is manifestation. Only is manifestation, and it is only what is manifested is we are able to see. There are unmanifested is much more than this. So he is the originator for everything. So for this reason, he is known as the Mahat Brahma. He is the great entity. Mahat means great entity. All pervasive, pervasiveness is his. He is all pervasive everywhere. Mahat Brahma. So we know a seed is sown in the soil. And in this act, the seed is the germ and the soil is the womb. So soil is the womb and seed is placed in the soil. And there the seed grows and becomes trees and bears fruits, etc. So in a baby's coming into being, the mother and father function as the Prakriti and Purusha respectively. So this is on a micro level, very, very micro level. This act takes place in a macrocosmic scale too. In a very large scale also this happens. The same process happens. See, in the great womb of Prakriti, as you assume is a great womb, the germ of Atma Chaitanya, that Chaitanyam, that Brahman, we call it that intelligence or that what is that living aspect is embedded. The great Prakriti, that living aspect is embedded. The blissful union of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna takes place in this way, in a cosmic level, in a universal level, leading to the coming forth of what is called the Hiranya Garbha. It's called Hiranya Garbha. There is a cosmic thing, cosmic embodied being, from the union of Kshetra and Kshetrajna in a cosmic scale. What coming out is the Hiranya Garbha, or the cosmic embodied being. So, and the countless Jivatmas that we see are none other than the rays radiating from this cosmic being. From the Hiranya Garbha, every rays are shooting out. So that is the Jivatmas, all kinds of living beings that we see. So the Jivatman is called the Kshetrajna, or the Purusha in the body, the Prakriti, because of his being endowed with the faculty of understanding. Purusha has the faculty of understanding. So it is called a Jivatman. So variations and grades of Jivatmas are all due to limiting bodies. But various kinds of living beings, living, non-living beings we see. They got different kinds of features. Some have, some can move, some cannot move. Like that, they have got many features are there. The various features are there. All caused by desires which are all born of ignorance. So they come into existence due to their ignorance and their interest or their desires, etc. They come into being in this world. So consequently, the Jivatma are all of infinite attitudes and temperaments. Like infinite variety of living beings are available. So all this happens due to the variations in the vasanas or desires in those living beings. So here, how does Jiva come into contact with Prakriti? it is due to ignorance. So each jiva's vasanas are caused by its ignorance and its true nature, which is infinite. True nature is infinite, but due to ignorance, they come into contact and they become limited beings. So instead, jiva, known as the Purusha, thinks it is incomplete because of ignorance and mistakenly rushes out into Prakriti to make itself complete again. So it forgets its infinite nature and just rushes to identify with the Prakriti and to make itself complete again. This illusory link between the Purusha and the Prakriti, illusory link becomes a source of its birth and rebirth in the cycle of samsaras. It goes with the ignorance of its infinite nature. It identifies with the Prakriti, and its Prakriti's gunas are there, vasanas are there. So it identifies with them, and they all sorts of sorrows and joy, happiness comes to them. So because samsara, they fall the clutches of the samsara. So this is what Bhagavan says. So what the understanding is the Hiranyagarbha, that is the cosmic being. The soil is the Prakriti is the Mahat Brahma is the womb, and the Purusha and the Purusha is the Chaitanya, that living aspect is provided to that and becomes a cosmic being, and we all the other jivatmas are all rays shooting out from this Hiranyagarbha. Thinking of how the birth takes place, that's what Bhagavan wants to explain here, how the cycle of birth is kept up. So how the process of birth Bhagavan is trying to explain in these slokas. We'll continue.
Padma Vishwanathan Bhagini.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Mamayo nirmahat brahma.
Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham. Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam. Sambhava sarva bhutanam.
Tato bhavati bharata.
Tato bhavati bharata. Tato bhavati bharata.
Varalakshmi Ramesh Bhagini.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Mamayo nirmahat brahma.
Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Tasmin garbhan tatapyaham. Tasmin garbhan tatamyaham.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam. Sambhava sarva bhutanam.
Tato bhavati bharata.
Tato bhavati bharata. Tato bhavati bharata. Thank you, sir.
Anasuya Bhagini.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham. Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam. Tato bhavati bharata.
Sambhava sarva bhutanam. Tato bhavati bharata. Sambhava sarva bhutanam. Tato bhavati bharata. Dhanyawad.
Lakshmi Kiran Bhagini.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma. Tasmin garbhan dadhamyaham.
Mamayo nirmahat brahma.
तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहम्
संभव सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
सम्भव सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत सम्भव सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
उत्तम
धन्यवाद
इलवरसी भगिनी
अमयो निर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं संभव सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
मम यो निर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं तथाम्यहं संभवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत मम यो निर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं तथाम्यहं संभवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
उत्तम
रघुनाथ महोदय
मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं संभवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
उत्तम
सपना भगिनी
मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
उत्तम
धन्यवाद
हेमा भगिनी
मम योनिर्महद् ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहं सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत
उत्तम so we'll go to the next sloka सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्ममहद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता. So here Bhagavan says whatever forms are produced, the different kinds of living and non-living beings we are seeing, whatever forms are produced, O Kaunteya, in any wombs whatsoever, the great great Brahma, Prakriti is their womb, and I, the seed-giving father. So whatever be the form is produced in a womb, that womb is the Prakriti and the seed is the father. So the wombs of the Prakriti are infinitely graded, providing scope for all types of beings to sprout, to come up. So like we have the celestials, the human beings, the beasts, the birds, the insects, the vegetable kingdom, the bacteria, and so on. All these are the suitable wombs to take birth and thrive. So all happening to the Mahat Brahman. Great Prakriti, and Bhagavan is the Ishvara, the seed for all of them. So the Prakriti is the cosmic mother for the entire creation, and Ishvara is the father for everything. So here Bhagavan says Ishvara, having divided himself into two aspects, is both mother and father of everything and every living being. After he deposits the seeds or the jivas into Prakriti, he creates the state of Hiranyagarbha. We told of Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic body. This state contains potential to generate an entire sequence of creation, sustenance, and dissolution of several universes. So we said like a race, they should come out from this Hiranyagarbha, this cosmic body, all kinds of living beings. So this is what is happening here. So also the ultimate womb, the ultimate source of birth of all beings is the great Brahman or Prakriti, which is nothing but the three gunas. The three gunas we'll be dealing with in great detail in the next slokas. So this is all, which is nothing but three gunas. If we have to remove the impact and influence of three gunas, if we have to remove the impact and influence of three gunas that exert upon us every day, day in and day out, we need to study what they are, how they impact us, and how we fall under their sway, and how does one remain unaffected by them. This we have to learn. You have to know these things. So Sri Krishna, having summarized the relevant three gunas, proceeds to analyze the three gunas in detail. In the next few slokas, you will see how Bhagavan is explaining each and every guna, their characteristics, etc. So this is what in this sloka Bhagavan says, Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha. So murtaya, there is a visarga for by sakara, so once will come murtaya sambhavanti yaha. Here yaha. Tasam brahma mahadyonihi. Brahma mahadyonihi. Aham bija pradah pita. Ubatmanya. Bija pradah pita. Aham bija pradah pita. There could be a dittam here. Aham bija pradah pita. Like that. We'll continue.
Vinoda Bhagini.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya. Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavanti yaha.
Murtaya sambhavanti yaha. Murtaya sambhavanti yaha.
Tasam brahma mahadyonihi.
Tasam brahma mahadyonihi. Tasam brahma mahadyonihi.
Aham bija pradah pita.
Aham bija pradah pita. Aham bija pradah pita.
Here, aham bija pradah pita.
Aham bija pradah pita. Aham bija pradah pita.
Pushpa Bhagini.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय
Murtaya sambhavanti yaha.
मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः
Tasam brahma mahadyonihi.
तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः
Mahadyonihi. Mahadyonihi.
महद्योनिः
Aham bija pradah pita.
अहं बीजः प्रदः पिता अहं बीजः प्रदः पिता
Uttam.
धन्यवादः
Nagamani Bhagini.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha.
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः
Tasam brahma mahadyonihi. Aham bija pradah pita.
तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता धन्यवादः महोदय
Ilavarasi Bhagini.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavanti yaha.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya मूर्तयः sambhavanti yaha सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः
तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता
तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता
ढोलक महोदय
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता।
उत्तम।
धन्यवाद सर।
लक्ष्मी HS भगिनी
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता।
रघुनाथ महोदय
सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता। धन्यवाद।
नेक्स्ट श्लोक। सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहिनमव्ययम्। सत्वं रजः तम इति तमः is also there. Sattvam rajas rajah tamaha iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha, which is arising in prakriti sambhavaha. Here there is upatumanya gunaah prakriti sambhavaha, sabda followed by pakara gunaah prakriti sambhavaha nibadhranti mahabaho dehinamavyayam. So here sattva, rajas, tamas, these are the gunas. O mighty armed, the mahabaho, O mighty armed, born of prakriti, prakriti sambhava, they are born of prakriti. These three gunas are born of prakriti. Bind the indestructible. Nibadhananti means to bind. Avyayam. Dehe dehinam avyayam. So embodied, the indestructible, embodied in the body, the indestructible Brahman that is embodied in our body. It is trying to bind it, bind the indestructible embodied one fast in the body. It tries to fasten this thing onto that indestructible Brahman in the body. These three gunas. So here the prakriti is made up of three gunas. It should not be thought that it is just superimposed without any connection, just like gold is superimposed on something gold plated and all that. But it is just like fire and its heat. So fire, it will have heat. So heat is in the fire. So it is not that it is separately added to fire. Heat is there. So they're one and the same. That is prakriti and the gunas are one and the same. It is not that prakriti is there and guna is going and attaching to that. Prakriti is guna only. So prakriti and the gunas are identical. So even so, the prakriti consists of three gunas. Three gunas are there. In substance, they are one, while in expression they are three. If we say gunas, then we tell like that, but there are three things are there. Prakriti or the kshetra is dependent on the kshetrajna. the Purusha in the Prakriti is dependent on the Purusha. So how can the gunas bind him who is the owner thereof? He is the Purusha is the owner of the Kshetra. Kshetrajna is the owner of the Kshetra. So how can the gunas bind him when he is the owner? How can somebody something affect the owner himself without his knowledge? So the fact is that the unfettered Atman seems as if fettered due to ignorance. Due to ignorance, due to ignorance of the real nature, it feels that it has no escape. It just loses its hold or loses its grip on that, and it falls to the trappings of the gunas. So it just gets bound by the gunas. Actually, Atman is not at all bound, but due to ignorance, it seems to be getting bound to the gunas. So Atman seems to be in the shackles of the gunas, in the control of the gunas. Well, actually, neither the original Atman is in any way gets bound. It doesn't get bound at all. So because of ignorance, it seems like it is getting bound by these gunas. So this is what Bhagavan says in this. Nibadhanti, that is fastening or binding the indestructible thing to the body. So we'll continue here.
Padma Jagan Bhagini.
Tattvam rajastama
Sattvam rajastama iti. Sattvam rajastamiti.
tama iti.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
This is the Karswa. Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajastama iti. Sattvam rajastama iti.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha. Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Nibatnanti mahabaho. Nibatnanti mahabaho.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Dehe dehinam avyayam. Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Uttam.
Anita Sharma Bhagini.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajtam iti. Hare Krishna.
Sattvam rajastama iti.
Sattvam rajtam iti. Sattvam rajtam iti.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
Prakritim sambhavaha. Praguna prakritim sambhavaha.
Nibadhanti mahabaho.
Nivadanti mahabaho. Nivadanti mahabaho.
Dehe dehinam avyayam.
Dehe de. हेलो हरे कृष्णा आवाज आ रही है देहे देहिना
अव्ययम
Vatsala Bhagini.
सत्वं रजस्तम इति.
Sattvam rajastama iti. Sattvam rajastama iti.
गुणाः प्रकृते संभवाः.
Guna prakriti sambhavaha. Guna prakriti sambhavaha.
निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो.
Nipatnandi mahabaho. निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो
देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
देहे देहिनमव्ययम् देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
उत्तम
देवी चित्रा भगिनी
सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृते संभवाः
सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः
निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम् निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
उत्तम
हेमा भगिनी
तत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृते संभवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
उत्तम
अनसूया भगिनी
सत्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृति संभवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम्
उत्तम बनी well channeled Bhagini. So we'll conclude here with samapayamta with the prasthana with the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om शांति 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 धन्यवाद पुनर्मिलामः राम राम राम
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः
धन्यवाद महोदय